everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Robbie is on cloud 9 preparing for his future with Vicky. Freddie tells Vicky that he wants to take responsibility for his actions. How will she respond? Meanwhile, Nancy's flight back home has been cancelled and a TV appeal to find Darren is in a few hours. Robbie and Jack encourage Frankie to do the appeal herself. At the station filled with reporters, Frankie doesn't think she can go up there, but luckily Nancy arrives just in the nick of time. Dee Banks leads the press conference and Nancy begins her appeal. But the bright lights leave her feeling disorientated and she passes out. Elsewhere, Abe wakes up to Cleo throwing up, telling him she's had a relapse. Abe has run Cleo a bath, but he's skittish when there's a knock on his door. It's Perry bringing him food to heal his hangover. Cleo tells Abe she blacked out following a pain in her arm, the same pain she had when she had a heart attack on her wedding day. She tells him her eating disorder has been back for months, and if he's ever loved her, he'd let her die happy, and asks him to marry her tomorrow. The frosty air clung to the village, wrapping Hollyoaks in a chill that hinted at the tension brewing beneath the surface. Freddie Roscoe stood by the edge of the village square, staring at the Christmas lights twinkling above. The festive glow felt like a mockery, contrasting the storm swirling inside him. His life was a tangled mess, betrayals, secrets and regrets. But tonight, it wasn't his mistakes haunting him. It was Vicky Grant. Freddie had spent the past few days wrestling with guilt over his affair with Mercedes McQueen. It was messy, complicated, and inevitable in ways that made him hate himself. But all of that faded into the background when he overheard Robbie talking about Vicky's secret meeting with someone from her past. Vicky wasn't just another person in the village, she was family, even if not by blood. She was a young girl with a troubled history, someone who had already endured more than most. Freddie knew he had failed many people in his life, but he couldn't fail Vicky. Not her, not now. The unexpected confession. Freddie found Vicky sitting on a bench near the village pond, bundled in a thick coat, her breath visible in the icy air. She looked lost, staring at the water as though it held the answers to questions she couldn't ask aloud. Freddie hesitated, unsure if he was the right person for this conversation. But something drove him forward. "Mind if I sit?" he asked, his voice softer than usual. Vicky glanced up, surprised but too tired to object. "Sure," she muttered, scooting over. They sat in silence for a moment, the quiet hum of the village distant in the background. Finally, Freddie spoke. "Robbie told me what's going on." Vicky stiffened, her face hardening. "I told him not to say anything." Freddie held up his hands. "Don't be mad at him. He cares about you, and so do I, that's why I'm here." Vicky's guard lowered slightly, but her eyes still held a wary edge. "You don't have to worry about me. I can handle it." Freddie shook his head. "No, Vicky, you don't have to handle it alone." A fragile bond. The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken emotion. Freddie leaned forward, elbows resting on his knees and sighed. "I know what it's like to feel like you have to fix everything yourself, but you don't, not anymore." Vicky glanced at him, her expression softening. "Why do you care so much?" Freddie smiled, though it didn't reach his eyes. "Because I've made more mistakes than I can count, and I don't want you to go through the same things I did. If there's even a chance I can help, I'm going to try." Vicky hesitated, her fingers twisting in her lap. "It's not just about me, though. He needs help." Freddie frowned. "Who does?" "My foster brother," Vicky admitted, her voice barely a whisper. "He got into trouble, and now he says he's in danger. He reached out to me because he doesn't have anyone else." Freddie's stomach tightened. "What kind of trouble?" "I don't know," Vicky said, her voice cracking. "He wouldn't tell me everything, just that he owes someone money, and they're threatening him." Freddie's jaw clenched. He knew how dangerous debt could be, especially in the wrong hands. "Did he say who he owes?" Vicky shook her head. "No, he was too scared to talk about it." "The promise." Freddie took a deep breath, the weight of the situation settling on his shoulders. He couldn't fix the past, but maybe he could help Vicky. Maybe, for once, he could do the right thing. "Listen to me," he said, turning to face her. "I'm going to help you. I don't care how messy it gets or what it takes. I'm not letting you go through this alone." Vicky's eyes filled with tears, though she quickly blinked them away. "You don't have to do this, Freddie. It's not your problem." "It is now," Freddie said firmly. "I'm making it my problem." He reached out and placed a hand on her shoulder. "I promise you, Vicky, I'll protect you. Whatever happens, I've got your back." A new resolve. For the first time in what felt like forever, Vicky let herself believe that someone genuinely cared. She nodded, a small smile breaking through her fear. "Thank you." Freddie smiled back, but inside, he was already thinking about what needed to be done. He didn't know who this foster brother owed or what kind of danger they were in, but he would find out. "First things first," Freddie said, standing up and offering her a hand. "We need to talk to Robbie. He's good at digging up information and we'll need all the help we can get." Vicky hesitated, but then took his hand, letting him pull her to her feet. "You really think we can fix this?" Freddie nodded, his expression serious. "I know we can." Back to the Roscoe legacy. As they walked back toward the village square, Freddie felt a strange sense of clarity. For too long, he'd been wrapped up in his own mistakes and selfish choices. But now he had a chance to do something right, to protect someone who needed him. He wasn't just making a promise to Vicky, he was making a promise to himself. This time, he wouldn't let anyone down. And no matter what danger lay ahead, Freddie Roscoe was ready. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Hollyoaks Update YouTube channel for more update news.